When mornings are in doubt, the afternoon rush will be your scout. Buenas tardes, mi amiga. We are back here again for another interview. Last episode, we interviewed students from Liceo de Cagayan University about their opinions of full implementation of death penalty in the Philippines. But this time, we will be hearing educational insights from our special guest for today's afternoon about the common issue we frequently deal with. We have all struggled with procrastination at some point or another. We struggled with postponing, evading, and procrastinating on important matters for as long as humans have existed. When we temporarily learn how to quit procrastinating during our more productive periods, we feel content and successful. Procrastination does not only happen in students, but also to adults in their works. In today's interview, we will be enlightened about what procrastination is, how does it affect us, and how to deal and overcome procrastination. But before that, we can't officially start without introducing our guest for today's afternoon. Allow me to welcome the most awaited guest from Liceo de Cagayan University in the fields of accountancy, business, and management, Rhea Fabre, Jean Pedro, Shane Gutierrez, Annalyn Galamiton, Nea Satunero, Jessa Bacasmot, and Rabro Sakabin. A round of applause, please. You can start by sharing your personal experiences and tell us how will you handle procrastination. Let's start with Shane Gutierrez. Hello Shane, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing great. I feel really honored to be part of your show.
I'm also honored for having you as my guest. As a student, have you ever experienced procrastination? And how do you define procrastination? How does it feel? And can you share your experiences with us?
Procrastination is putting off some kind of task, postponing, delaying, or rescheduling it until a deadline comes up, at which point everything becomes a huge nightmare. Many of us, including myself, suffer from some level of procrastination. So I was going to tell you about my experience with procrastinating. It all started when I was in grade 9 and the pandemic came and we couldn't go to school because of COVID-19. So we're going to have a modular. At first, I was excited to do it and I wasn't procrastinating. But one day, I was tired and when I look at my modules, I was like, the deadline is next week, so I will just finish it tomorrow. That's when I started procrastinating. I'd always say, I'll do that tomorrow, until how many tomorrows passed. Then panicked the day before the deadline and blame my overabundance of schoolwork when it was all my fault to begin with. When I became a senior, it became worse because I was trying to balance my life with part-time work, school, family, and social life. I'm still a procrastinator because when I look at my activities, I get lazy and tired of doing them and always tell myself I'll do that later or tomorrow. So, that was my story when I became a procrastinator. One day, I aim to have a greater control over my life and live a healthy lifestyle with less worry and anxiety. As long as it stays under control and does not turn into a chronic problem, procrastination is common in human existence. Procrastinating is a stressful habit, in my opinion, as it will only make things more difficult for you at the end of the day. I frequently put a finishing task until the very last minute, which only adds to my stress at the end of the day. Therefore, if you have spare time, I suggest students to do their assignments and homework as soon as possible to avoid being in a panic.
Thank you for sharing your experience, Shane. Let us now give the moment to Jean Pedro to share her experiences about procrastination and how does it negatively impact her. Good afternoon, Jean.
Good afternoon, Miss Tresha. The disadvantages of procrastination is ruining your goals or damaging your reputation. Procrastination is a negative act that results in decreased performance and low quality work. My experience last year is very stressful, like delaying important plans, always saying later to my important tasks. I get stressed always, and this affects my mental health. Time is gold, so we cannot waste any seconds of it. And how I overcome procrastination. What I did is I set deadlines in my tasks, reading motivational quotes or videos, listening to music while working, managing my time, taking notes, journaling, and I turn off my phone for less temptation.
Thank you, Jean, for sharing your experiences with us. Let us now give the mic to Jessa to share her experience.
Good afternoon, Miss Trisha. I often neglect my assignments, especially if the due date is too far away. I watch some videos on TikTok and YouTube, then watching K-drama during my break. I often promise to do something tomorrow but never accomplish it. It kept happening until the deadline was approaching, at which point I start to stress and piles of schoolwork would make the situation more worse. Because I have to do that task quickly because the deadline had passed. Now I realize that the activities should be prioritized so that no one misses an activity. Because watching videos and movies is the result of not finishing the activity. So I will really prioritize my activities and not the things that can distract me from doing my activity. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessa. May I call on Rabro and Annalyn to give their thoughts about procrastination? Buenas tardes, Rabro and Annalyn.
Buenas tardes, Miss Tresha. Many high school students have put off doing their schoolwork, finishing a project, or studying for an exam at some point. Most likely, you are aware of what needs to be done, but you choose not to. It's simple to put off challenging or time-consuming tasks until the very last minute. But if you do, you can end up having to pull an all-nighter due to stress. I have experienced this, but as time goes by, I realize and learn from my mistake. Here are some suggestions for preventing procrastination. First, try prioritizing your work and assignments. Set deadlines for when you want a project or assignment to be completed. It's easier to get started on a project when you establish simple, reachable goals rather than face a big, vague plan. Aim to have your projects and assignments completed 1 or 2 days in advance. Second, take a 10 to 10 minutes break from your schoolwork every now and then. Taking a break can increase focus, reduce stress, and help you better retain. But it doesn't mean that taking a break is you will have to play online games and watch videos on TikTok or Facebook because it can distract us. It's okay to do things that can entertain us after we finish our activities.
Buenas tardes, Miss Tresha. Robro is right. I would like to add some tips and techniques to overcome procrastination. We should be organized and set specific deadlines and goals. If you don't have a specific strategy or idea for finishing your task, you are more inclined to put it off. Make a list of all your assignments and due dates for each one. Being organized allows you to work inside a more structured and methodical framework. You might put off doing something because it appears overwhelming, which is one of the causes of procrastination. Setting small, manageable goals makes it far simpler to get started on a project than dealing with a broad, unclear strategy. Your goals will become more manageable and less daunting if you say, I'll study chapter 6 tonight, as opposed to, I'll study chemistry tonight.
Thank you, Robert and Annalyn, for your helpful techniques in overcoming procrastination. This will help a lot to us and to those people who are listening this show. Let us now welcome Nea. Hello, Nea. How do you get rid of procrastination? Can you share to us the tips on how you overcome procrastination?
Hello, Miss Tresha. Actually, Annalyn and Rabro already said some of the tips on how to get rid of procrastination. I will just gonna add some tips that they haven't mentioned. We should get rid of distractions in order for us to finish our task. Another suggestion for preventing procrastination is to eliminate distractions. You increase your chances of accomplishing your goals by reducing the numbers of distractions in your immediate environment. Turn off your phone, find a quiet area, and turn on some relaxing music or white noise to block out any background noise and to help us focus on our studies or the things that we should finish on time. It's up to you what music calms your mind, but if music distracts you from doing things, you can just find a quiet place and avoid yourself from scrolling some memes on Facebook or from watching YouTube videos for entertainment. Another is to reward yourself. Giving yourself a reward after finishing a task could provide motivation and prevent procrastination. Consider rewarding yourself after finishing a project or studying for a test. Once I do this job, I can watch an episode of my favorite show. Might be all that is needed to say. For example, for me, I love to watch K-dramas, so I always tell myself that once I finish this specific task, I can watch K-drama as much episodes as I can, since there will be no problem to think if you have already finished the activities. I can now have the freedom to do things I want.
Thank you, Nea, for the useful advice. I really love the advice you've given since I can relate to it. I enjoy watching Korean dramas as well, and I've already watched more than 200 of them, and hoping to watch more than that. I agree that entertainment should serve as our motivation to complete our task rather than a distraction. Let us now give a warm welcome to our afternoon's final speaker, Rhea Fabre. Greetings, Rhea. Could you tell us about your experiences and approaches for overcoming procrastination?
Hola, good day everyone, good day Trisha, and to all the listeners. This is Rhea. Balancing and managing my time and the things I want to fulfill is extremely difficult for me, given the distractions and influences around us. Plus, being a working student makes it more difficult. And there are times when you don't want to do anything. You feel tired and unmotivated, which often results in pending works and unfinished businesses. Then you realize that a day has passed with many of your works and tasks undone, but you feel strangely comfortable with it. And that led me to procrastination. And the things I did to overcome procrastination are rewind, reset, and restart. Rewind. Remember all the things you want to accomplish, and rewind all the things you left undone, all the things you were not able to do, and the opportunities you missed that came along with it. The second is reset. Reset your mind. Set your goals firmly. Find a new inspiration and motivation. Basically, have a new perspective in life. And lastly, restart. To start over or to basically start new. Keep moving forward. When you feel tired, then rest, but do not quit. These methods have helped me avoid procrastination, and I hope that I could help you too.
Alright, our episode for this afternoon comes to end here. I would like to thank the students from Liceo de Cagayan University for participating in this show and sharing their experiences and techniques in overcoming procrastination. This is Trisha Evelyn Partridge, your host for today, only here on the Afternoon Rush. Keep an eye out for more upcoming episodes.